What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the channel. My name is Oe, and today I'm going to be reviewing Season 5 of Cobra Kai. Full spoilers ahead. I'm not going to be doing it alone. I got a formal adversary, if you will, a man that I respect, a man that I must also destroy. He is my rival. He is my enemy, but at the same time, we're good friends. So I got my boy B Duff, aka Duffy, joining me, helping me out on this review. How you doing, Duff?
Good. How you doing, Oe?
I'm doing all right. You ready to talk Cobra Kai, bud?
I am. Happy Friday to everyone out there.
We'll give our quick thoughts of the season, then we're going to go full on spoilers. So if you have not seen Cobra Kai season 5, I don't know if you want to join us for this spoiler talk because we're going to be getting deep. But I enjoyed the hell out of this season. And with that said, it's not my favorite season. It's not, I like season 4 a lot more, to be honest with you. I always like when Cobra Kai leads up to the tournament, to the main fights. A lot happened behind the scenes, a lot of ramifications of what happened from season 4 played out, of course. And this was mostly about the adults, I think. But
I liked it. It was good. It wasn't as good as season 1 or 2. I felt in those first 2 seasons, after every episode, I was like on the edge, waiting to see what was going to happen in the next episode. This season, there wasn't as many of those. It was kind of like, It was good, but it led up, I think, very well to what's going to happen in season 6.
I have no idea what's going to happen in season 6 after the ending of this season. But yeah, I felt like I think you had a point there. Like this season, it didn't have those edge of your seats like twists like
Mm-hmm.
season 4. I mean, there was a lot of surprise appearances and twists nonetheless because this is Cobra Kai.
It was good. Like I enjoyed it. I watched it, in like one sitting almost, but it wasn't as good as the others. But
Season 5 starts off with everything is fractured for Miyagi-Do and Eagle Fang. I mean, they're kind of completely out of the way because they lost a bet to Cobra Kai. They ended up losing, even though it wasn't a legit win. Tori is the champion of the Valley tournament, which we find out that Terry Silver, man, Terry Silver, such a great villain, but he paid off the reps. He's got his hands and everything. He's like an octopus, man. He's not just a snake. He's an octopus because he has power. He
yeah,
has money. He's able to corrupt everything way more sinister than Kreese. But man, Terry Silver, what did you think of that guy?
what a villain. I mean, he does a good job in season 4 and also in this season. You can tell his confidence level. He's getting more powerful, and he's expanding the dojos, and you can see he's got a huge plan coming ahead.
I mean, his vision was way more complete than Kreese's vision. I mean, Terry Silver,
Mm-hmm.
his vision was like, we're taking over the damn world, which I think Kreese
Yeah,
kind of
pretty
had
much.
this. He had the same like kind of attitude, but Kreese wanted to win and he didn't want to cheat. Like I don't know if
He
that's
was more local. He had a more local. He wanted to help the kids locally. Kreese or Silver, he wants to do the whole world. He wants to bring Cobra Kai global. Yeah, that's
yeah. I
just
kind of wish
nuts.
we had a Kreese and Silver reunion this season after what Silver did to him with. Of course, Stingray beating the shit out of Stingray, which led to the false accusation getting Kreese in jail. So
Hmm.
Cobra Kai is taking over everything. I mean, they're the whole valley. I mean, they're opening dojos left and right. They're taking over. They're the NWO of karate.
he's
So
Hulk Hogan, right? Terry
yeah.
Silver.
Oh, he's Eric Bischoff. He'd be Eric Bischoff or
Oh
something.
yeah, yeah. I forgot about Bischoff.
So yeah, he's taken over, and Miyagi Do and Eagle Fang they're fractured. Johnny Lawrence is kind of on his own mission because he has to go meet up with Miguel, who has he quit the tournament. He quit the tournament, man. He's been getting through an injury. He's going through some personal issues, especially after the fractured relationships with like Sam and then Johnny. When Johnny expressed his feelings when he was drunk and after he's getting ass beat by Silver, he isn't that drunken state. And when he needed his son the most, it wasn't Miguel, it was his real son, Robbie.
Hmm.
Honestly, the whole Mexico detour, that whole subplot, I thought it was going to play out a lot longer than it did.
Yeah, I thought it was going to go a lot longer than it did. But going back to that Robbie Johnny scene was, or not Robbie Johnny, Miguel Johnny scene was pretty emotional when he said "I love you, Robbie," and said "I love you" instead of "I love you, Miguel." That hit the feels pretty good. It was a good scene, and they both acted really well. I think that's what put Miguel over the edge.
Yeah, that scene in season 4. Yeah, that really led to Miguel kind of going off his own way to Mexico, and of course, Johnny goes after Miguel because I mean that's his surrogate son. He's like his main
Yeah.
father figure. So of
Hmm.
course he's gonna go after Miguel, and then Robbie tags along because Robbie and like another like you said another good scene between his Johnny and his real son, which is Robbie. They're fully reconciled. Robbie has forgiven him. He thinks he's going on a boys' trip with his dad to Mexico, but surely enough, he finds out that Johnny's just dragging him along to get Miguel. Which Robbie and Miguel they still have a big rivalry, but yeah, I like how he brought Robbie along on this trip. But some fun things happened over there. We had a few fights with some Aussies in on
Yeah,
the
the
beach.
Aussie. Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know if you watched Mortal Kombat, but one of the actors playing the Aussie characters was Kano. It was Kano in the newest
Was it
Mortal Kombat
really?
movie. Yeah, yeah.
Oh
So
yeah, I didn't know that.
so
Good call.
we had those scenes with the Aussies. We had a lot of fun scenes in that Mexico subplot. What was your favorite part of that subplot?
Favorite one was the chili pepper
The
when he,
competition.
yeah, the competition.
Yeah,
That was pretty good. And I remember watching. I'm like, he didn't put that in his mouth, and he tricked the guy. He used a little deceit there, which he's pretty good at. And that, and then the fight when he actually used the pepper on the other guy.
I actually thought he did eat it. I thought he was channeling his teachings of the Miyagi Do way, and he was able
Yeah,
to withstand the spiciness and endure the pain.
I've seen like what I forget what TV show it is. People try those things, and I don't know. Oh no, thank you.
Nah, dude, I get sweat eating a regular steak, dude. I get the meat sweats. You put a pork chop in front of me, and I'm gonna be dripping sweat by the end of it. Like I just sweat either
That's
way.
funny.
He finds his father after saving his son or his stepson, or I don't even think he's married with the girl. Like his father isn't married at all. It's like kind of his girlfriend, right?
Yeah, that's her son. That's not the father's son.
Yeah, whatever girl that Miguel's father's dating, he saves her
Yeah.
son, and that gets Miguel closer to his father, whose father doesn't know that's his son. Miguel kind of plays it off like he's just a total stranger the whole
Hmm.
time, and at the same time, his mom is trying to tell Miguel, over back in America on the phone, like your father's a piece of shit. He's a scumbag. Don't trust him. But Miguel sees the facade of his father's life which is, he thinks he has a nice family. He's, making a legitimate business and name for himself. Like he seems pretty honorable, but he finds out that his dad, he's got some skeletons in the closet, and he's probably got some skeletons buried in the desert as well because he's into some
Yeah.
shady shit.
Well, I even bought into. I was like, maybe he had changed his ways. Maybe he was a bad person when he was with Miguel's mom. But I was like, maybe he changed his ways and turned his life around. I bought into that in the beginning, and then we know what happens later.
Yeah, it's not really implied on what his father did. And honestly,
No.
I thought it was gonna take like longer for that to resolve. Of course, Robbie and Johnny after the whole pepper contest and you find their way to Miguel. They go to that cage fighting area, the cage fighting scene where Miguel's father actually owns that place or something. He has his own prize fighter. He has his own martial arts fighter, and he
Yeah,
learns
yeah,
Miguel's one of the top fighters in America. So that gets his attention. So maybe that plays out in season 6 in the
see,
grand tournament.
I have a feeling something will in
You
that
think like
regard. Yeah.
you think like his dad shows up since it's a worldwide tournament, like his dad shows up with his group of karate fighters.
See, I thought he was going to show up even in this season more, like later on in the season. Kind of like I thought he was driving the limo.
Oh,
Going, that's going really towards the end of the season. But I thought he was definitely going to, because maybe he found out it was his son, and then I'm going to go find him in America. So I think something's going to happen in that.
yeah, I thought that scene was gonna get way more darker. I thought we were gonna get some
Yeah,
cartel. Like I
yeah,
thought he was gonna think maybe Miguel's like a mole for the FBI because of course Johnny and Robbie show up in their FBI t-shirts because that's all they had to wear. They show up and
yeah.
find Miguel. Miguel's father thinks they're actually real cops, which when you see two gringos roll up, you're not gonna ask questions. So they think they're like they're really going after him for whatever reason. We don't like we said we don't know what Miguel's father did, but yeah, they find Miguel and Miguel's or father. He gets his fighter to fight Johnny and Robbie, which, like you said, that pepper played back into play. He never ate the
Hmm.
pepper. He ended up using that to fight the the MMA guy.
Well, he did think that Rob or Miguel was a mole, and when he checked his cell phone, and I'd have to like rewind and pause, but I think when he was going through the pictures, there was a picture of Miguel's mom
And he
and
didn't even
Miguel,
notice.
and he didn't even notice. Did you notice that too?
I think that's why Miguel was also hurt. He's like, you don't even recognize my own mother. Like, you
I'd
really
have to go
are.
back, but I'm pretty sure that was her, and he didn't even acknowledge it, and he just gave him the phone back. And maybe
Yeah.
that's why he did, because he did notice it, and he was like, "Oh man, I don't know." It was interesting.
Yeah. Yeah. It was really interesting and it wasn't properly resolved. Like, after he has that talk with his dad's kind of a raging alcoholic as well. He realizes, like, shit, my dad's kind of a scumbag. So what am I
Hmm.
even doing here? And of course, at that time, he reunites with Johnny. So that was a good scene. He sees his real, kind of his real father figure in
Yeah,
his life.
yeah, yeah. Because he's in the street and he's talking to his mom and
Yeah.
saying, she was right. I tell you, Mama knows best, man.
Mama knows best.
Mama knows best.
Mama Miguel knows best. So that
Hmm.
Mexico storyline gets wrapped up really nice. We got Johnny and Miguel reuniting. Everything's all good. The only bad thing about that is that Robbie and Miguel still got a lot of animosity towards each other.
Hmm.
So, and they reconcile that later on. Like, there's a few episodes where, Johnny's trying real hard to get them to, mend their differences because Johnny, he's having another baby. Johnny's got a
The
kicker in yeah,
the escape room.
yeah, that
He
escape
does
room
an
scene.
escape room.
I like when Miguel's grandma came in.
And then he gets locked out because he can only
Yeah,
leave from the outside.
yeah. So after
Oh,
a
Johnny's
few,
a riot, absolute riot.
yeah, and like we said earlier, he has nothing to do with what's going on against Cobra Kai. Johnny's in
No.
his own world. He's out of the game now. He's just focused on his family because he's found out that Carmen, Miguel's mom, is pregnant. So he's like, man, Robbie's gonna have a brother and Miguel's gonna have a brother. So I got to get these two to get along.
Yeah.
These are my two
And
sons, so I got to get them to get along. So yeah, after a few failed attempts, he finally like uses the way of the fist, where
well,
Miguel
he got the idea from LaRusso.
was it Larusso? Oh yeah, the first like okay, we haven't even got to Larusso storyline yet. Let's just wrap up Johnny's point of view. So yeah, we don't get a Johnny Lawrence or Danny Larusso reunion until like the fourth or fifth episode.
Yeah, it was later on. It was after Silver gave LaRusso a nice little beating.
Oh yeah, at Stingray's Palace. Man,
Yeah.
I in retrospect, there was a lot of great things that happened this season. A lot
Yeah,
of
yeah.
great things, but yes,
Stingray. He I know they have so many characters that they have to give everyone, screen time,
mm-hmm.
but it seems like they cut like Stingray's, he's hilarious. He should have been in it more, I think. There's a lot of other characters, but they have so many characters that they have to give screen time to. They can't get everyone in.
No, I agree. And the thing is, though, despite all that, they show a lot of respect to to their characters. Like, they really
Hmm.
love
They
the
do.
characters of the show. Like, there's not one bad, like, oh, I hate what they did with this character. It's not like, no. In this season, everyone, is kind of redeemed. Like, this whole last or fifth season is about people kind of redeeming and trying to just, make things fix because Cobra Kai has just grown so out of control, and not for the good at all. So, and
No.
everyone's seeing it. So, but yeah, so and Miguel and Robbie, they go into the way of the fist. They decide to duke it out because, like you said, Daniel Larusso kind of implied like, hey, we gotta go back to your way, like the way of
Yeah.
like not go full Cobra Kai, but we need a little bit of Eagle Fang, a little bit of Johnny Lawrence. So I also like how the Miguel versus Robbie fight, where they finally duke it out just to hash it out. There is a definitive winner. Like, Miguel is the superior fighter. So I like that.
Well, in every even in what was season did he get paralyzed? Season three,
Two.
two.
Yeah.
He won that fight, and he showed mercy.
Oh, you're
And
right.
this one,
Yeah.
yeah. And then Robbie kicked him over the ledge. And then this one, they went to the second floor, and I'm like, oh no. I was like, something bad because everything seems to come back on Johnny in a negative way. So I was like, oh no, something bad's gonna happen.
Yeah, everything does sort of come back to Johnny because he started this. I mean, everything, Johnny
Yeah.
was the catalyst for all these characters kind of intertwining and getting together. So, yeah, Johnny is responsible for these kids and how their relationships in a way because, Cobra Kai, the title of the show, Cobra Kai started this whole damn mess.
Hmm.
So it was nice to see Miguel and Robbie finally reconcile and
Finally.
and talk about a powerhouse. Like, you got two of the top fighters plus Hawk on your side.
Yeah.
Like honestly, who's on Cobra Kai? Like who's on Cobra Kai? Is that like who's their muscle? So we'll get
It's just Tori and help me out with the other guy's name.
The Asian guy, Kyler.
No, no. Well, Kyler, he's
He's always
okay.
been a
Yeah,
dweeb, but he's
yeah, he's
hilarious.
always a dude. No, the newer, the
Kenny,
young kid,
Kenny,
Kenny. Thank you.
Kenny.
Yeah, he's gonna be the face.
Yeah, I like what they did with Kenny. But all right, so we wrapped up Johnny's storyline. He's having a baby. He's mended the rift between Robbie and Miguel. So like we said, he had nothing to do with what's going on with Cobra Kai at the moment. He's out of the game. Meanwhile, with Danny LaRusso, Danny LaRusso is fully invested into taking Cobra Kai down at this point, to the point where he's recruited Chosen. So
And Chosen made this season, in my opinion.
he might be the MVP. Yeah,
He
a
was
lot of the
good.
fight scenes, he was in a lot of the fight scenes, and
Yes.
man, for an old guy, he can still do it. He can still do it.
Well, Danny LaRusso was so invested, his wife left him.
Yes. Yeah. Danny was so deep into taking down Cobra Kai and, of course, going up against Terry Silver. Terry Silver, man, he just knows how to play it. I mean, he'd be a perfect
Yeah.
Game of Thrones character because within one episode, he got Danny's wife to leave him.
Silver is very methodical and he's evil.
He's pure evil. I mean, I don't think there's any redemption for him. I don't know. But yeah, he's way more of an asshole than Kreese, way more.
Hmm.
But yeah,
Hmm.
Terry Silver, he's going up against Terry Silver and the whole Stingray plot, which what else happened between there? I mean, his wife freaking leaves him. They go to like Indianapolis or some Ohio or something like that, right?
She meets up with her cousin, I believe, and she is actually in Karate Kid 3. She's the pottery maker that Danny dates, and she's a character in the third one, and so they threw her in there as well, which was good to see. I like how they bring back the old characters, and you can tell how excited they are to be in it.
Yeah, I mean, her
These
acting,
old,
like, I was like,
yeah.
I don't know. I had a feeling. You've seen all the Karate Kid movies. I haven't
Mhm.
seen any of them besides the first one and the remake with Jaden Smith and Jackie Chan. But yeah, when they kind of showed her, I was like, all right, this girl has to be from the older movies because it kind of like zoomed in on her. I was like, I have no idea who this is. Why should I care? But then she kind of tells like Danny's wife about Terry Silver because, like you said,
And
she was in the third one, which that had Mike Barnes in it too, right?
yes, that had Mike Barnes and
Yeah,
what Silver did to Danny and
yeah,
why, and Danny's reacting the way he is now because he knows how evil Silver can be.
yeah. He was just coked up and just manipulating Daniel Larusso, right?
And you think about it, all for a teenage karate dojo.
God, that's what I love about the show. This show is so over the top and
Yes,
it's cheesy, but it's so good at the same time.
so
Like
good.
I eat it
Exactly,
up. I eat up all the
exactly.
cheese. Like
Yes,
some people might be deterred from all the cheesiness, but I freaking love it. Like it puts
I
a big
love
fat
it.
smile on my face.
Oh, it's a riot.
So Mike Barnes, when we're introduced to him in this season, we kind of think that he's maybe working with Silver, which I'm like, I'm expecting him to, because I'm like, all right, I have no idea about Mike Barnes. I just know he was a villain. So we kind of have him return, and it turns out he has a lot of animosity towards Silver as well, and he's just a normal dude with a furniture store, which leads up
Yeah.
to a funny scene with the Chosen and accidentally fighting him. But
Yeah, he's just a regular dude now, living his life, married, kids, the whole nine yards. And LaRusso comes up and starts trying to wanting to fight him. He's like, what the?
yeah, that's how desperate Danny. I kind of like Danny a
Yeah,
lot this time. He really hates the hell out of Cobra Kai, where to the
yeah.
point where his wife leaves him, he becomes an alcoholic. He's just getting in fights. But yeah, the whole Mike Barnes thing was funny, and since he might have evidence against Terry Silver, he ends up getting his goddamn furniture store burnt to crisp.
Oh,
So
I know that when that happened, I said Barnes is going to turn and come after LaRusso.
yeah,
That's
I
what
thought
I
he was
thought.
too, but which he didn't. Thank God, because I like this
I
character.
know.
I
I
like
know.
how it wasn't like typical, like I'm coming back as a villain because that's what I was before. It's like, no, he's just
Hmm.
a normal dude. Just a normal
Yeah.
dude who got Terry Silver, man.
Yeah,
Jeez.
he got caught up in Silver and his
Yeah.
evil plot, and he was a teenager.
Yeah.
It's like what teen? When someone throws money at you.
Yeah. So the whole adult storyline in this is pretty much just going up against Cobra Kai just trying to take or Terry Silver down because Terry Silver he's just too much, man. He's just too much. But meanwhile, we got the kids who they're all out of Cobra Kai, at least the Miyagi Do Eagle Fang. They're just
Hmm.
disbanded. Sam wasn't a fan of it as first, but she kind of needed a break from all the drama, so she's kind of out of it too. And really, we focus a lot on Tori this season and her subplot because she's feeling guilt for losing or winning the tournament, but knowing that the reps were paid off by Terry Silver. So that leaves a lot of guilt to her. And you got Kreese from jail after being put to jail by being framed by Terry Silver. You got Kreese kind of mentoring her still and uh, putting her as a mole in Cobra Kai, just feeding information to Kreese so he can know where everything's at. Because Kreese still wants to be a player in all this, but yeah, I like the Tori's subplot. Like every character is kind of like realizing how bad Cobra Kai has gotten.
Hmm. Well, Tori was put in a hard spot because she wanted to win. She's always had tough things in her life, and she finally wins, and she finds out that they got cheated to give her the trophy. So she's in a tough spot of whether to confront Silver about it, or just accept it, or go to Sam or anyone. So she's always got something going on as well.
So she kind of wants nothing to do with Cobra Kai because no one likes a cheater. No one likes a cheater. So
Hmm.
yeah, and so I like Tori's storyline. And as far as the rest of the kids in the series for season 5, they didn't have much to do. At least that's
No.
how I felt.
Yeah, like Hawk wasn't in it that much. Kenny, who I thought was going to be a really big player, he wasn't in it as much. It's like they wanted to bring together like the Johnny and Miguel and Robbie and bring all those situations together, and then finally get back to the actual kids.
Yeah, I feel like the kids from each dojos, like when like the Miyagi Do and Eagle Fang, they finally decide, okay, we got to take Cobra Kai down. That's when we start finally focusing on the kids a lot more. That happens like later on in the season. Like you said, Kenny, yeah, I like Kenny a lot, man. And I like
Yeah,
how
Kenny's good.
he's a good. I love like ever since we were introduced to him, like he's become such a asshole, but it makes so much sense. Like you really can't blame him for
I know. Yeah.
you can't blame him. Like everyone's got like a legit motive for being how they turned out to be, all
Yes.
because of Cobra Kai. So
Hmm.
yeah, I really like Kenny. And when they did start the focus with him on the end, he was like the head honcho with Tori at a point for Cobra Kai.
Silver pulled him aside and said, are you going to be a leader type of thing? And Kenny bought into that. And he's like, yeah, I'm ready.
Yeah, after Robbie left Cobra Kai, Kenny felt betrayed and lost, and his new mentor to go to was unfortunately Terry Silver.
Yeah, no.
So, yeah, I wish we had more Kenny, but I like what they did with him. And they also brought in Devon, who she was introduced last season. There was a lot of focus on her. She kind of goes under Tori's wing, and Tori kind of sees like how much Cobra Kai is starting to manipulate her.
Yeah, she does a good job. She's confident, smart. Like she's a really good character in this. It's just kind of a bummer that she came so much later in the series.
Yeah, but I do like how Cobra or Tori was starting to mentor her and saw her
Yes.
heading towards a dark path. So I like what they were
Yeah.
doing with the kids in the season. But yeah, Hawk didn't have much to do, but
No.
they did have some cool scenes with the kids that were enjoyable, like the whole pool scene where poor Anthony is just getting beat up by Kenny, and there's a whole thing there. And then they had the like the training sequence with Chosen and the egg, which
Yeah,
plays.
that was pretty good. That was pretty good. Chosen, by the way, what a guy you have to be to come from Japan to basically be Danny's bodyguard. And he's just a solid dude, right?
Well, yeah,
Just a
he
good
dude.
guy.
Chosen's awesome. Yeah, he might be the best fighter out of all the adults, and
I
also
think so.
yeah, he whoops everybody. I think he's overpowered, but yeah, they bring him back, and he's coming in as a sensei. He's the new sensei. Like they got
Yeah,
3 senseis for Miyagi Do and Eagle Fang, and plus, Cobra Kai brought in like their international senseis from all over the world. You had
I
that
know.
lady who was I forget her name, but she was really good. She was a good adversary or a good. She might be even more evil than Terry Silver. We don't
I
know
think
much about
so.
her.
I think she's going to be a big. I mean, I'm could totally wrong, but I think she's going to be a big player in the next season.
Yeah, they had the evil senseis for Cobra Kai. They had the guy with the eye patch. So it's like, what is this?
It's
Like,
like, where'd he lose his eye? Like, what the heck is going on? But
yeah,
yeah,
all these like senseis in the new Cobra Kai, they look like straight out of like a James Bond movie.
yeah. And then you have Chosen.
Yeah,
just
then you have
chilling with the
Chosen.
rest of them, like a little mole in there.
Yeah. And also one of the senseis in Cobra Kai was actually UFC fighter Tyron Woodley, who just got knocked out by Jake Paul. He was one of the senseis. He gets his
Yeah,
finger shot
he got
off.
like pinky chopped off or
Yeah,
something like
yeah,
that. Oh, I didn't know that.
yeah. So
That's
he
another
did a pretty
good
good
call
job.
by you. Yeah, very well
Yeah.
done, sir.
As soon as I saw him, I was like, holy shit, that's Tyron Woodley.
That's too funny.
So,
Oh, maybe he wants to get into acting. Maybe who's the guy that did the A Team, the new A Team?
oh, the MMA fighter, Rampage
Yeah,
Jackson.
yeah. Maybe he wants to
Yeah.
get in a little acting. Who knows?
Yeah, but that movie also came out like almost a decade ago, and he didn't go anywhere after that.
Yeah, that's true.
So he's done. But yeah, maybe Tyron Woodley has a future. But after everything, of course, is going fine. LaRusso, Johnny Lawrence, they're celebrating Johnny having a baby with Carmen. You think everything's fine with them. Meanwhile, the kids are the ones that really put things to action because they were so fed up with Cobra Kai. And of
Hmm.
course, Tori kind of jumped ship and reconciled with Sam, which that was good. I mean, so much of Sam's storyline was just fearing Tori. So it was kind of
Yeah.
like it was actually a really good scene to see her like see Tori as like, man, I can relate to her. She's this whole time she's been tortured as well in her own way. So it
Well,
was nice to see.
what we all knew finally came to Sam finally realizing
Yeah.
about Tori.
So yeah, she reconciles with Tori after all the hate between them, and they all just unite to finally take down Cobra Kai with the help of Stingray, who jumped ship as well. Because Stingray was a good dude who just was put in an unfortunate situation where
Yeah.
you know. So yeah, Stingray was funny this season. I liked him a lot. So you got the kids finding like the security files to take down Terry Silver when he had that discussion with Tori when she discovers that he was paying off reps. So Johnny Lawrence, Chosen, get
And Mike
kidnapped,
Barnes.
and
Remember
Mike
Barnes
Barnes.
gets like knocked out right in the beginning.
Yeah, Mike Barnes shows up out of nowhere. Kind of kidnaps their limousine, and they ditch Danny Larusso because Chosen and Johnny are so drunk, and Mike Barnes done some hard drugs. They just want to beat the shit out of Terry Silver. So things go south for the adults real fast. Which they go over to Terry Silver's house and confront him and get into a. I mean, this was a straight out of the '80s brawl. It's so crazy and over the top, but I loved it.
Like all of the fights, they haven't been shown much blood or cutting. Or I mean, this one Chosen's getting like
Limbs are
sword to the
getting chopped
back.
off.
Yeah, I'm like, what is going on? They got a little morbid there for a little bit. I was like, this is a little different.
Yeah, I mean they're legit trying to kill each other with
Yeah.
samurai swords. I'm like, what the hell? This is going off the rails, but I enjoyed it either way because it's so
I was
crazy.
like, we're
Chose
no one's calling the cops, huh?
no, no, like the fight choreography for being like a cheesy like show on Netflix. The choreography is still good, like especially when you're dealing with older actors. I
I
liked it.
think I'm not sure about Chosen, but Silver was like a real martial artist.
Yeah, I think you're
And
right.
so, and what's even crazier is he is younger than Danny LaRusso.
Daniel LaRusso wasn't involved at all. This was Johnny Lawrence, Mike Barnes, and Chosen taking on the a layer of Terry Silver with all his super senseis, which that was a good fight scene. Johnny, when he was getting his ass beat really bad, then he had that picture of his
Of his baby.
baby is still in Carmen's
Yeah.
stomach, that ultrasound picture, and he just finds his strength, started whooping ass.
Yeah, he went off. It
He
was
went off.
cool.
That
It
was
was
awesome.
cool.
At first, I thought, all right, Daniel LaRusso is going to show up and save him, but no, Johnny takes care of business on his own. So
Well, LaRusso's trying to find a ride, and the guy he's gonna get in fight with more people. I'm like, what is going on?
yeah, the
And then
last episode,
Stingray pulls up.
yeah, Stingray pulls up in the Cobra Kai mobile. So yeah, I mean, it goes off the rails in the last episode where
Yeah, it was. It reminded me of the house fight in season 3, I think, when they're having the Christmas party and they're
yeah,
all
yeah, yeah.
brawling. That's what reminded me of, just chaos, just
In
everywhere.
Yeah, in this case, it was mostly the adults
Yeah,
trying
but
to
it was the
kill each
adults
other.
this time. Yeah, it was the adults this time.
But then you had the kids in the Cobra Kai dojo trying to get the security footage and upload it to the world so they could expose Silver. So you had them fighting each other, and Daniel LaRusso shows up, and him and Silver have a one-on-one battle, and Daniel beats the shit out of him. Eventually, the footage gets put out into the world, and people find out that Silver is a cheater. So,
Yeah.
and all the kids of Cobra Kai, they don't want to be involved in that. So he gets put in handcuffs. Stingray outs him. The kids of Cobra Kai turn against him. So Cobra Kai is done by the end of this episode.
Yeah.
Like,
Well, it's funny when all that's happening and Johnny rolls up in the stretch limousine. I just thought that was so funny. After the huge brawl and he just comes back in the stretch limo.
yeah, Johnny shows up with Chosen still bleeding to death in the back
Yeah.
seat. It's like, dude,
He's
you
like,
couldn't
it's
go to
just a
the.
cut. He's like, your whole body's cut.
It's like, dude, you couldn't take Chosen to a hospital. He's bleeding profusely in the
He's
back
just
seat
got
over
little
there.
bandages on him.
Take this poor bastard to the hospital before you reconcile with the rest of
Oh,
your
good.
dojo.
Yeah. Oh, goodness. Too funny. But leave it to Dimitri and Hawk, the ones that hack the system, right?
Yeah, and then Anthony gets the footage, and they have to that. Of course, the whole protecting the egg comes
The
back into
protecting the
play,
egg. Yeah.
which I
Yeah.
like. So
Yeah. That was, I thought that was pretty cool.
yeah, but honestly, I thought things wrapped up way too soon with that whole
Hmm.
because so much happened
They needed
within that,
us. They needed an episode 11.
or just like a 10-minute epilogue, like just
Yeah.
showing like what's happening because Cobra Kai is pretty much kaput. Terry Silver's in jail, and this is all before the Sake Take tournament, which is going to take place in season 6, which is the worldwide
Hmm.
karate tournament where that they were all trying to get into. Um, we skipped a lot of that, but I mean, it's another big tournament that's going to happen. So, yeah, there's a big tournament going to happen. Terry Silver, though, is in jail. Cobra Kai is done. So, what's going to happen to all the Cobra Kai exiles? Are they going to choose Miyagi Do, Eagle Fang, or just be their own thing? And of course, we had John Kreese. He had his whole prison
Amazing.
arc.
Fake his own death.
Yeah.
Again,
John,
again.
did he do it before?
Yeah, he did it in the third one. That's when Crease. That's when Silver takes over because they say that Crease was dead.
Oh, yeah. You're right. Yeah, Kreese,
Yeah,
man.
yeah. Crease is like 3 times has faked his own death.
But at the same time, he's kind of redeeming. He sees his faults and what he's done. So I don't think he's going to come back as a villain because, like we said earlier, he's mentoring Tori, and Tori kind of is sick of it. So he sees the damage he's done for Tori, how he's been manipulating her, and he also sees through talking through the prison counselor, like his relationships with
Yes,
Johnny and
yeah.
everything. He kind of comes to realization, like, oh man, I've been messing up a lot of these people's lives as well.
Hmm.
So even though he escaped prison and he's God knows what he's going to do next, I don't think he's going to come back as a villain. I think he's going to come back to want to legitimately guide Cobra Kai to what he did in before when like he legitimately wanted to make Cobra Kai like the best karate dojo in the world. And I don't think he wanted to do it Silver's way by paying everybody off. So
Well, I'm like, how is he going to do that when you are an escaped convict?
you just got to suspend your disbelief with 90% of the show. So don't
Yeah, I
count the
suppose.
logistics. Don't count the logistics of crime legalities or whatnot. He's going to come back into play. He's probably going to guide Cobra Kai. But man, I think what other things did we skip? We just went over to the finale right there.
Well, I was trying to
Anything?
pick up like keywords like throughout the show, and I thought one that was interesting was when Silver was arrested, and the police officer said that he's gonna need some good lawyers, and Silver has like the best lawyers money can buy. So part of me thinks that he's not done yet.
Yeah. That's why I felt like the ending was rushed. Like I wish we had
Yeah.
give me like a 5-minute epilogue of what the hell was gonna like happen. It's kind of like all that shit at the dojo and at Terry Silver's house happened, and then boom,
Hmm.
end of season. Or then we get Kreese escaping prison, and boom, end of season 5. So yeah, I wish they wrapped up everything a little bit more clearly for the audience. Because,
A little
but
little side note, that Cobra Kai dojo was legit. The new one, like
yeah,
that thing had like a freaking you name it, they had it. Like
yeah,
I was
there's
like, I was like, that part of me might be with Cobra Kai now.
yeah. Who's the penis breath jumped
Yeah,
ship in the last
yeah,
battle? That
that
was
that caught
hilarious.
me a little. That threw a little curveball there. I
Yeah,
didn't see that.
that was hilarious. And he's like, yeah, they got a protein bar. They got girls here.
Yeah.
It's like,
So he's not. He's like, no offense, Sam.
yeah. So yeah, there are so many great I mean we didn't get to touch up on a lot, but in between all the main plot points, there's that Cobra Kai charm where you get the kids, you got the adults, all the fan service moments. There's so many great moments in between all the crazy stuff that happens. So that's why I love Cobra Kai. Everything about it. I mean, I'd still give this season four and a half O's out of 5.
Oh yeah, I'm a homer, so like I'll five.
Five, give it a
It
five,
it
maybe.
ca-
That's what I'm talking.
it can't be bad. Like it's
Yeah,
just
yeah.
so good.
Their
It's
weakest
just
season is still a four, which I don't even know
I
which one
know
would be the weakest season. I honestly don't at this point.
it's just so cleverly written. They keep you on the edge of your seat. It's very you know, like I said, it is cheesy, but you know it brings back the nostalgia of the 80s. They throw in like the 80s music, you know, from the movie. It's just so well done.
Yeah, Cobra Kai. I mean, this is I mean, the way they write the characters and the show and the story. I mean, it could just reach a general audience in a
Hmm.
way that there's no agenda. There's no agenda in anything. It's just like here's
No,
our characters, here's their progression, and you know, I love it. Like, yeah, they pay so much respect to each character's arc, and you just feel fulfilled by the end of it. Even though at the end of the season, my only fault with it is we really don't know what direction everything's gonna because everything's kind of even more crazier than ever before. So, oh man, that was a long spoiler talk with Cobra Kai. Hopefully, we touch on everything that we should have touched upon. Other than that, this was a good talk, good enjoyable chat and spoiler review of Cobra Kai. I just want to thank my boy B Duff from the Duff Dojo for joining in.
yeah, thanks for having me, man. This was a lot of fun. I enjoyed it.
Yeah, we'll have you more on. Maybe we'll have you on for more reviews, man. A lot of things to talk about, a lot of
That's
entertainment
true.
out there still to talk about. So, once again, thank you guys for joining in. If you guys have watched this video, make sure you click the like button on your way out, subscribe to my channel as well, and I will see you all next time.